Fuck, I've been waiting for this one for a while. Alright, this is a track with a particular a backbone that happens to leave me when I've been alone inside. Instead of sitting in front of the throne, in front of the TV, inside of my mind, just sliding down that slippery way in life. No, I found a different place in my soul for me to take, for me to find inside of this little thing and make a goal. I don't need a net because I don't need to be catching the ball to be coming back. I found a goal and inside I find a new one in the end. It's beaming around the corner, around every sort of little bend. There's a new silhouette that's moving behind the horizon as the sun sets, and I'm trying to move towards that constantly, just finding the impossible, and I implement every single time a small obstacle in my mind. I realize at the first second you gotta say, can I just move around? Can I just not have to even push this thing to the ground? Is it just standing in my way, basically like jumping off some sort of fucking 8-foot, 12-foot fence when the little gate was open the whole time? They never actually closed the locks. Is it easier for me to just get in between this little space between them? Like there's a door to the house, there's more, you can go out the back, that one's never locked, we never leave it locked without a doubt. So friends, if they ever get stuck, or people who aren't just sort of crazy and nobody ever finds them places inside of this place because it only reflects the same sort of thoughts, the only sort of ones that aren't distorted, of course, inside of how it is that we've found any sort of international, interplanetary, interdimensional travel. So when it gets too scary, getting caught inside of a place where I've got never any friends, and I need to find a place that's steady, they'll come across this little place and I'll be happy. Hard to be cross when you find inside a menagerie of everything that you could ever want in life, but it says at the front, take but always put back when you're done. And that's what I like, the people in life who leave themselves open for other people to find in case, and they need to be in the space for them to be able to rearrange and make the changes that they need to get back onto the horse, so that they can move on course, so that they can get their life back on track and move towards whatever they want. Moving towards isn't of course a direction, it's a metaphorical finite implements, yes, infinite coincidence, though I digress. This is something that just needs to be pumped into the minds of these ones, otherwise we've got nothing left, nothing right, nothing what's up, I guess, whatever you want. That's basically what I said. I'm not moving the ground unless I have to get back up again. It's like this, it's like that. Don't be yelling at me, telling me what it is that I want out of this situation. That's the problem. It's not, these are the things that were pushed on to me when I was the same, when I was young in the brain, when I wasn't taking on anything because I thought I was the man, that I was clearly insane. And if you stand to take the time to look back at those moments, then you'd understand, and you will again. And this is something that fames, is that every generation has always been the same. It doesn't change. Impact the fact. Just want to make a difference, just find the facts, not hard facts, not things that you find on the internet. I'm talking about, look back to your genetics inside of there. You'll find the wings you need to understand in order to bring to me the bits that you need, so that I can then quickly teach whatever I need to. I can implement. I'm like a transformer, but I'm made out of rock hard cement. That I move constantly, though I, as needed, turn into a rock zombie. Commence what? I'm not available for talk at moment. Why? Because I lost my thought, lost it or rearranged and tossed it. That's correct. It's a daffodil. I definitely gonna find a reason to spill, a deliberate reason for me to find the pill, a deliberate reason for me to find the seal, to find a reason for me to not be breathing outside and still. I sit inside with the still air in mind, not thinking about that the stagnant air might find the kill. Eventually it will, if I don't take the time to crack a little bit of the window so that I can let in the wind. In fact, have you got? Not much, and I don't want any more. It's something that comes across when I open the drawer. If it's there when it wants to be, then I won't be scared. I'll take it when it needs to be taken, because it's right in front of me. Are you ready? I'm not ready for much, but I get ready just to be ready or not. You know, so I can have that question, having a question, not being answered. What the fuck? Are you ready? Am I ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Red Rooster, fuck off with your bullshit mask. I haven't had anything but blah blah blah. Bullshit, whinging shit won't get you across. And I'm sitting on the bridge, and I'm sitting here minding, just like the Black Knight did back in his time, man. It's not like people don't understand what it was that they did that day. The Monty Python class fighting, they're leaving their little messages for people to implement. They're like, this guy's just minding his own fucking business, just doing his job. And then this other cunt's like, like, well, I also need this job, and you aren't doing what you're supposed to be doing. You have a skewed idea of how it is you're using your abilities for this strategically placed sort of facility, I guess you could say, inside of that time and place. And he's like, no, this is how it is. Why? Because I sit here all the time, and this is the time I exist, so I fight you for it. What? There's no reason for that. It's like, well, I'm going to chop your head off. Well, how about this? I'll give you this brand new Samsung U-Butte Telstra bong. It's going to fucking have all the whistles. It's about this big. It's a triple chamber with all the percolators. By the time the smoke reaches your mind, you won't even have anything left. You'll just be peeling off the layers. And he's like, no. And starts swinging his fucking sword. But you quickly have already left, of course. He was stoned as fuck and didn't realise it. By the time he realised what you'd done, it was far gone. It's crazy. People just don't understand that these relics in life are there for a reason. For people who don't don't know how to command and change the way that they are moving in order to find the thing that they've already made up inside of their heads, the destination that they're gonna get to. If they need to, they can change. It's a thing that most people would call lying, but that's only if you live second to day life. As a man, I'm a headhunter. I find a plan, I find the thing that's gonna be, I'm not gonna tell you. Basically, it's not really a secret unless I keep it, and it's not a secret unless you make me tell you what it is. So a thing is like a thing until I can make it an objective, and then all the things in the way, they are just little bits for me to bend, little things for me to change, so that I can perfectly fit through the slipstream and get to where it is that I need to be, so that I can get to the next, so that I can piece together the great bits that I have for a long time been trying to grab. And you might forget at points in time that was part of the path. If you didn't make it out of your own confusion, then you're a delusional fuck, and you weren't ready to prove it. I'm not really sure what it is that I'm trying to find, but I'm constantly trying to find something. Obviously, it's always inside my mind. But is that the thing that I'm actually just stumbling upon? Is it just the thing that I'm using to think that I need to be cruising? Is that the thing that I want? Am I not aware of the fact that I have everything, all I have to be able to become? And yet I haven't figured it out. Everything is without a doubt inside my head, between my fingers. A little bit of knowledge goes a long way, they say, but maybe it's a lot more than that. And all the storage that they lifted inside of my head for me to pick up when I wasn't ready, that was the perfect time for them to quickly interject. And now I can't even remember where it is that I picked up so much bits of information, but they easily connect. Obviously it was put there by the many people I met in life, and some by the internet. By the internet? Yes, quickly. When I find a way for me to secede from reality, I just go and ask Google what it is that I needed to do today. And he's like, fuck, can you repeat the question? Oh shit, don't really know what it is. And if you don't know what it is, then you need to stop and think. If I'm not thinking, if I'm not linking in my mind the steps that are in reality that I can quickly combine, what am I doing? Why am I here? These are the questions that you might need to ask. Or you can just go get a beer, have 10, and when you forget where you are and you pass out and you wake up in somebody else's car, use that as a little bit of an adventure, an incentive to create instead, and also a bit of dementia. Use that hate for the way that you're feeling, to use the contrast to change the way that you blast off when you hit the ceiling. Instead of going back to the floor, find the window and go fucking take off some more. Change the way it is that you need to be. No, change the way it is that you need to see, so you can be free. Wherever it is that you might be at the time, don't be so unsightly inside, because you might find others combined, and when they find these little spider web covers, little couch covers, they're not gonna fucking take the time to sit with a brother. They're gonna be like, never mind. You gotta be ready for whatever might be coming your way. And it might even be the same type the same person you might find in another body, but that doesn't mean that you're deserving, ready for the job, man. The job of being the perfect exchange, the perfect conversational way that we made the way to make the same, so that you can understand what is so strange, so that you can see inside yourself new ways to understand who you are and open up the things that you never thought in your head were possible, even though, of course, everything that is possible that you're using that word to associate with has got to be refutable and irrefutable. Of course, it wouldn't be possible if there wasn't a way for me to get off at the station that I need to be inside of that particular placement, for me to grab the ride, to get inside the train, to find the bend, to find the place that makes me into whatever the fuck I want. Next track. Let's see what it is. A bit of dark stuff around. Here we go. Wriggling with this little thing I've been fiddling with. It's been sitting inside my hand and my palm, and I'm just sitting there looking at this little pathetic thing, wondering how it is that I can use it to make myself laugh. I can use it to make myself into a pretend friend for this thing to extend. Non-denominable. I'm like the fucking snowman, but I'm a tax accountant at the same time. I got a pit bull. Why? Just in case somebody rips me off, I can send it round to their place. Now when you say you're accountable, you're not some sort of accountant dude, you're just a person who picks up the worst when nobody else is out to do it, right? Yeah, kind of. I just make up stories inside my hind. That's right, my hindquarters when I sit alone, when I'm sitting inside trying to design something for me to find, even though I divine these things from no sort of real, not understanding the information that I created so that I could be underhanded. It's not really all, the pit bull's not there for show, he's there to rip out their balls so that I can quick out below. I can get whatever it is that I want from these people when I'm running low on resources, because I can find my way through the days, or I can quickly just open some doors and find the ones that are awake and go in and quickly change their lives as I quickly take. And that's running around the ground, running around trying to find what, trying to find something more than what is, something more than what is. I don't give a fuck. That's right. And even using that is too much. That's right. That's right. That is right. Alright. I haven't done this one in a while. Biggie. Here we go. See if I can tap in. What did this for? What you gonna do? Coming into my view, trying to see what's going on, but I can't really find the skew. I nearly hit the ceiling as I saw inside his eyes something I didn't like. I saw inside a little thing blinking like it was some sort of python eye. I didn't like it. Why? I couldn't answer the question, so I asked him to wait outside. And I'm sitting and I wait for nothing, so I create. I'm not sitting there just pretending drinking beer. I'm not even drinking, I just hold it just in case somebody comes in. I need an excuse for what I do. It's stupid, the fact that these things are so loose. Such an idea for people to be reclusive. They need to pretend to be a person in order to get something done from their own parts inside of their heads. What's going on around it? That's what I ask. Is it something that we need to be questioning? Well, I'm asking this question, so what the fuck you think? What is it that's gonna be coming my way as I sit there wondering about the days that have been gone, as I sit here inside my little dirt coffin and rot. Inside my little dirt coffin, inside my little dirt coffin, inside of my little dirt coffin, inside my little place in which I riddle, sitting inside of it, trying to find a little bit that I can use to wind the tip, so that when I dip it, it's a quick kinetic change. I just pull the string and let it go. The chain it comes out on the road. It's gonna roll. It's a wheel, a type of thing. It's gonna stop when it wants to, and until it does, I will sit. And then inside of this implemented state for me to plateau through life for a little bit, just to find, is it an experiment, or am I just using it to get a free ride to a different place, to a different space, so that I can change the way it is that I take it in inside. The light The light, taking in the light. Or am I in the dark? Am I in the dark? Or am I in the dark? Or am I in the dark? Or am I in the dark? Sitting in the park, wondering why it is. Drinking for this, just wondering why it is. Not at all, just sitting there, just drinking beer. Now it's clearly where it is. Just thinking about what could happen if a person was to come running in, just tapping. I'm like, nah, man, we're all strapping guitars, man. This isn't just something you can just rock up. It's not a farm, this is a place. We have an alarm, a space. If you're gonna be coming in with that sort of thing, better be ready, because it's not all of us that you can waste. We may be wasted, but we ain't not. But we are, and we ain't scary, but we can become, if you need us to become that. But I won't, unless you make me, so please don't do it, because I was just enjoying my little sit until you come and tap, tip tap, making those little fidget idget noises, tick-tock like a little fucking soldier toy made out of wood, not doing, just make to destroy, just point my gun, just use the gears in which I was annoyed, the cogs that turn and turn the fears. Am I doing this just to make crystal clear what it is that a person who is autonomous is? I'm gonna shoot you, why? Because I shoot through life, because it's how I do when I don't know why. And I don't know why, because I didn't ask myself enough questions, and now I had to live life, not alive. I wasn't my best one. It's definitely not my best one.
D-Lo Beats.
What is it? Bring forth. Bring forth. Bring forth. Bring forth. What about the third? What about the second? What happened to the first? Oh shit. Maybe we lost them. Maybe we lost what? I see your game. Lost in the brain game, trying to find the same blame, trying to find a reason to stay in the same lane. Little bird squawk, flap my arm, trying to fly. Shit, man, I'm just trying to walk. Alarm. Can you tell me what? Asking too many questions. Quick, get my gun. I'm gonna fucking find. Are gonna swear at me? Shit, son. I'm just fuck this. I just run away from what? Run from the places in which I know I'm not. Before they change it, before they put inside of your head a thing that traces around the shapes that were already taking stasis, but they're not the ones that you thought were gonna become. Like looking at shapes in the silhouette inside the dark, they will take the place of any first form sort of shape that already exists inside the past, and you don't want to be re-exhibiting that sort of thing, so don't let nothing in unless you want. For every other person, tell them to go get fucked, because fuck people, they can get what they want their own way. And if they take offense to that, then who the fuck are they really in my life? Are we dating and we just never met, never took the time? Are you someone special, or have you not figured that yet? Figured what? Figured exactly that. Stick your hand inside of a radio and like make sure that it's a diamond one, because any other time, and I think this is going to help in the future when you find yourself in a similar sort, you're going to get electrocuted, mate. What do you mean by that? You're going to find some device and you're going to get zapped, and it's going to fucking hurt, and you're going to wonder why for months at a time until you stop fucking electrocuting yourself. What do you fucking mean by that? How can you? It doesn't make sense. Oh my god. I'm just trying not to use the fire as the same means for the same message. It's the new generation, it seems. They have to make their own version of everything because they're going to start recreating the mistake. They're going to be the ones to read it in the passage. The ones that are left after the burning earth has been left in a wake. A wake of what? A wake of phoenixes to become. A wake of that was just a delusional thought. A wake of destruction, and everyone's dysfunction is the only thing that keeps us alive inside of the what? The dark cunt. The dark cunt. Dark cunt. He flows through the night, whispering. I don't know what a whispering was, but I bet he was whispering about what it was when he was whispering. Whispering. It's like aspirin for people who are dead. Dead. Alive once. Yes. Got it. Don't understand, but I got it. Got what? Got a reason to sit on the spliff. What a reason to sit on a spliff and do not much to sit inside about the rift that you find in the mind. Find in the mind the rift. How about find in the mind the rift? A little place that we can tear open inside of space. Inside of it, I find a lot of exciting things, something that I just couldn't really give a name. Oh, they're just sort of crazy devices of all different shapes. Art, what could be, I'm not even sure. Some sort of refrigerator thing that seems to store specimens of lots of different times in which chaotic sagas existed inside of time. I can see this thing in which it exhibits clearly the evolution of humans, and it seems as if we've been alive for at least 1 billion. Wow, that's a bit fucking crazy. Then what about all the weird changes that we thought up? Oh, it's all delusions. It goes around in a circle. Most people don't understand the confusions as we're called across from different lands. We already know who it is that we're meant to be in order to find the kids. It's not going to necessarily be who it is that we find to end our lives with, end your lives with. Man, when I die, I'm going in a box. Fuck that. That's delighted. What it is that you have in your head that raise up the ideas of rose-coloured paint. I'm not going to live behind that shade because I just want to make my way through life and find where it is that I want to state my fucking claim and put in the ground, not a flag, just a big fucking round circle with a line through it. So people get really fucking confused when I hang off the top a little fucking head with its head on fire, and I've put a gas hose that pumps it up so you can't see. So when you come right up, they're like, these cunts are like saying, don't come here, there's cunts that burn shit. And I'm like, that's basically it. If you're going to be coming here, be ready for fire and things that are underneath it. Know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying? No, you don't, because I haven't fucking said it. What the fuck is wrong with the English language? Let's ask that as a question. What the fuck? Okay, what the, extreme emphasis? What the fuck? I hurt myself. Fuck, like that was confusing, just thinking about the fucking language that I'm supposed to have a fluidity with inside of my day-to-day regime. But I don't understand. But I don't. Don't I? I do not. But I don't. Not and then, not and this, not and It's, what the fuck, man? This isn't that sure. And then we come back for more. And then, that's a really old style of literally tricking people into maybe thinking they need something else. It wasn't a joke. It is a joke when you come across it. You've only seen the movie, though. I get it. But don't implement things. Make the human language something beautiful, because once you got an astringent understanding of things, you don't really need to change the way you understand things. You've got a Babel fish inside your mind, and you don't need to have a language that is understandable by any means, as long as you understand basic presets and the way that Latin is. If you're an English speaking type, it's backwards sort of. So, I want red wine. The red of wine is what I'll have, thanks. Instead of thank you, I'll have red wine, Now put that together. Or don't, I don't give a fuck. Just speak better English. Here we go again. Trying to slip inside of this little thing that I find is constantly inside of a bit where I don't define my head at all. Must be because I found a slip, a little stream for which I can fall inside of and not get caught at all. Delighted I find my time used when I write my different views instead on my mind. On my wall I use it instead of finding to put it on top of the internet crystal ball. On top of it, do you think that is where you sit? If proverbially speaking isn't gonna fucking explain where it is, the ceiling in a fucking hypothetical metaphorical digital world, then I'm peeling off, I'm breaking off formation, I'm changing vector, going to a completely different station. Man, you guys can fuck off. I don't care if you make it, and I don't. Just wanna get away from it. Get away from what? From all the thoughts, from all the distant fucking insistent thoughts that come from people who are not ready to fucking leave their heads with one clear line to walk, and so they leave behind lots of distinctively fucking incomplete things that other people will pick up if for some stupid reason the new generations go, man, fuck yeah, that's actually a thing, when it's not, and it's purely because they don't want to be not included, because inclusiveness is so much of a thing now that slowly what isn't becomes what is, because that is the fucking start of the breakdown of fucking everything. Do you understand, everybody? Now you understand why you can't just sit in a class and not say no, not say this guy's being a fucking idiot, do better, so you can take it personally or use that as a fuel to fucking push yourself forward. Some of the stupidest cunts I've ever met actually know more about life than most other people once they get the time to sit around the world and look at what they like. It seems as if they were paying more attention to the things that actually change the way we actually think, the way that we can create new communications to link, the way it is that the world spins, the way it is that things move when you're not paying attention. But if you're gonna be focused on everything so constantly, you're not gonna notice, and that's good. You can be part of the anomaly of the broken fucking pieces of what wants to be instead of what I could be at any one point, or how I'm feeling, and using that in order to draw myself a fucking compass in myself and point as I spin around on the spot. And whenever I feel the reason or feeling to stop, that's the way I'm going. And I might quickly change, but I'm not going to be thinking about it at all. And you know what? Every single fucking time I manage. I don't fall. I always get to a point where I'm like, fuck it, I'm so glad that we did that thing again. What thing again? And around it goes. They ask me a question and I can't give them a no. Or I could. Now that you said that, what you said before, I could. No, you're right. Now you see, you understand how, like, fucking broken the ability to understand what it is that they're trying to teach inside of this. You can't say no, but only in a place where you know what is and what's already going on. You need to know the basic reading, writing, arithmetics. It's fucking pretty important. So when you're distorted inside of the world, you can easily call it, I'm going the other way. Fuck this place. I got a backpack with all the things that I need to survive. I'm gonna make a change. Anabolic beats, anabolic, anabolic beats, banana, Just because it's similar doesn't mean that I should give it a reason for it to be anything inside or outside as well. I'm not going to be giving it any sort of ability to steal my light. Don't just see things and give them a reason for no reason. If it's not something at all, just quickly put it back down where you fucking saw. Maybe your brain mistook something that some other person thought was a reason, but probably they just got the sickness inside of the mind and they're giving reasons to inanimate objects. Happens so often these days that we need to protect each other so that we can erase what wasn't important. For those that are probably the ones that are waiting for the calling, the change of the wind, so that they can come storming. All the greatest minds that haven't found that little fucking hitch for them to get inside of, they're going to have the crowns. They're the ones that are left inside of the prisons of their own inception, of their own design, so it's perfectly collected, and only another person who has the ability to follow right behind and destroy everything that they're creating to keep the herding is going to be the one to free them. And we need to find a way to find these people quickly because they're all stuck inside. Houses are tombs, Dad. Think about that for a second. If we go back, think about all the people that we keep digging up under the earth. Why do you think they were buried, man? Why the fuck do you think they were buried? It was probably not because we could overlook the fact that we've been living like this for over, well, 250 million, fuck that, it's nearly 1 billion. Would you look at that? And still we're having the same sort of problems. The same things seem to be happening again because they've found underneath the earth definite fucking proof that there are people that lived in close, like inhabitant sort of quarters, in stamped mod little houses. Many of us at the same time. Society existed for whatever reason and for however long, but whatever kept happening, it obviously kept coming up, and that is my only answer. It could be, I guess you could reason that perhaps we didn't actually die off it all and there was a controlled killing, and then there was one or two races, one of the two greater consistencies of people that carried on and slowly dribbled them bits of what they needed and just left them to, constantly find what they need, constantly focused, instead of the just flying, floating, blissfully losing focus constantly. I think that makes us want to be perhaps targeted. No, not necessarily. Not in a way where you can just quickly walk behind and tap them on the shoulder and go, oh, that's all right, whatever it is that you're doing. And all of a sudden, they're going to change their mind and they're going to hold it as long as they can. They're going to hold that because it's going to be important to them. And then you better be ready to be in their life. I'm not saying that you should hold their hand, but maybe just carry a knife because they might be coming with something to stab you in the head. Because if it doesn't work, whatever it was, because they're not used to being able to focus for so long in order to make something work, if it takes off and they can't control it and owns it in a bad end, see, this is why we just need to keep moving with the changes, the waves, with the ebbing flow. We're migratory creatures for a reason. By the time it matters and they reach you, it won't matter again. I like it this way. Nothing can be stolen or broken inside a room that's broken already. Are you ready for the impact that's coming to something that's not exactly what you might have thought? What did I think? I don't know, but I can make a link, a zone inside of my head. I can cut off and use all the bits that are, implementive, that are conducive to inside of this computing situation for me to deduce an outcome, for me to use, for me to at least have an ability from where it is that I should stay clear, so that I can stand around the borders of where it is that I believe the collision is going to happen, so I can watch but not, become part of whatever it is that you're putting together. You're coordinating, but forever I will be a fan, forever I'll watch, forever I'll be a part, but never be a part much. Enough to record it, to pass your story on, but I'm not gonna fucking get inside of your mistakes and destroy myself. Are you ready? That's right. That's fucking murder. That is true. That would be murder to expect another person, and with you, with all your ability to view what it is that's happening inside of your immediate surroundings. If you're not aware of the people that you are including inside of what you have to share with them, your findings. If you're not being defensively disciplined for the self, it could be because you've yet to find how it is to be disciplined for another as well, and vice versa. Perhaps you stole because you find your side with people rather than your own mind. You side with their ideas, and even though you quickly find answers, you push them to the side because you want to become a dancer and dance around the fact that you've yet to find your own path to get yourself to a place where you know that you're at wherever you need to be at any point in time. You wake up where you left off and quickly see the footprints that led you to where you are. I recommend that you find yourself, find your own place, and then sit and smell, sit and hear, sit and breathe and feel the world. And then when you are fucking dying, going insane of boredom, sit there for another year again, and then another one, until you can find a friend inside of you. Yes, I'll leave that bit for you to divine and skew inside the thoughts, for you to make up, for you to create, because I don't want to change the makeup. And then once you've done that, now you can become a part of somebody else. You can exchange words and actually have a conversation with somebody else, another universe. And once you've figured out how you both are the same, to become in that situation, exchanging words to form the brain ideas, that's what we're explaining, except we're just using it as instances on how we stay in this thing that people, I guess they call it the lane, but I'm like, it's a past, present, future tense. It's a lane. It means I can go back in any one point whenever I fucking wish. You know what I mean? And you can sit there for as long as it takes. Take the time for those who don't yet have the words to put the words together if they understand, because otherwise they get left behind. But for those who've yet to find where it is that you are, even though you've tried to explain, don't go too far, let them figure it out. Maybe leave them a little clue left behind for them to pick up, a little bit of brain food for them to chew, for them to find and redesign and find a new fucking something. And then try again once, maybe, if you end up speaking again, to have that conversation. But if there are people who are there wishing to speak to people. Maybe it's because they fucking finished speaking to themselves, you know? So take that in. They might be a bit damaged, but you gotta reel them in. And once they find a consistent rock to jump upon, to have a consistent conversation with, you might find a genius, a new type of brain, some sort of delirious thing that you once thought so strange, a thing that you could never have seen yourself take place in front of, beside of, whatever, which way. People, I find, are all the same. We all want the same sort of fucking thing. To stay sane, we need an ability to feed, our ability to also do the opposite at the same time, to go back the same way, to be insane, to be genius, to be ingenious. To remain in a center, I need to have a leniency towards any which one so that I can find consistency inside of my life. If I'm not finding that consistency, maybe it's because I have yet to design a way for me to measure, what it is that I find, what I find to be happy, what I find to be sad, what I find to be me moving up and me moving back. Me moving back, proverbially speaking, can always be annoying, but then you keep going and you find that one thing that makes it all worthwhile and changes that directional thought inside your head back on its ass. Because the law of diminishing returns really is only valid if you don't have the ability to compartmentalize and realize that no matter which way you're walking towards fucking something. It doesn't matter whether it's backwards. If it's not working, change your life. But take the things that you did have once, the skills that you could implement in any sort of in stuttering because it's overlap. It's no longer sitting in, it's simmering, it's not buttering. Is he just talking? I hate that sort of thought when people walk in and they're like, he doesn't know what he's talking about, and immediately I change the way it is that I've got my thoughts all wrapped around. That's me talking about. What are you talking about? Talking about saying I'm saying these things, saying I'm just saying it so that I can change the way that I'm saying the thing, saying what? I'm just saying nothing and it constantly strings. It's bullshit, man. It's a load of crap. Oh, just strapped to me back. Exactly. That's all you want in life, a load of crap that you can carry so you can perhaps become a fucking awesome person. At the end, trying to say they're just talking. Just talking could be just about, just is like, he's almost saying something, or he's said something, it makes sense almost. Or just talking means I'm not listening because I haven't found anything inside that's relevant for me yet. Just talking is people just having conversations, nothing exciting is going on. But just talking means that the conversation is gone. Now tell me one more fucking time I'm just talking. Cool, cunt. I'm an ice block now. I'm on Blizzard. Just chilling like a villain. Why do villains need to fucking make, like, you know, sure and emphasize the fact that they're chilling? Because they don't get to do it a lot. I'm chilling, and am I just convincing myself? Am I convincing sort of convinced often? Not by telling myself what's up, I tell others. I tell myself things when I have conversations, deliberate fucking introspections when I'm on my own, when things go wrong and it starts to not come together. All the abilities are sharpened up, the spear honed my skills so that I could not get caught in a position where I was stuck on my own. I know, sitting up on top of the throne, I'm here not because I want to be, but because nobody else knows what it is that I know. And so I deliberate amongst the dendritic spits, the little drip drops that slip down to the bottom from the top. It needs to be that way in order to find what it is that inside is not, for me to find the bits that just quickly snap and break off the weakness. You just need to feed it from the top and the bottom, and quickly you'll find if it's got nerves of steel, perhaps it might make its way through the test. But I don't really think that is how it works. Basically, the inconsistencies, you know, they speak. The free constituents, the free constants, the free can'ts. I'm free in what I can't do. Fuck that. Free can't. I'm a free cunt. I'm on a freak hunt, basically. I can do whatever I like sitting inside. I might just maybe consider a new height, a new way for me. If I can get these things to fly, I just take an idea, what it is that I want to fly, and then I think about what it is I can use, the tools that might find in here. And then I'm like, wings, of course, I can attach that. That's easy. Now I'm flying again and I'm back on course. Easy for me to find what? That's the question. That's the question. What is the question? Exactly, my man. You bring it into me like that, I can say you can probably conceive easily what it is that you need to keep intact. Keep intact, keep in touch. Yeah, with those that mean more than what it is to not keep it all. To keep nothing in touch is to free fall, to not have something to hold you, a net, a safety, a thing that supports, a family maybe, something that loves you, something that you can't just scream save me, but that will be there no matter what, on those days that truly matter. And when you might have fucked up, they're not gonna fix it for you. They might give you advice on how to make it not happen again. They're not gonna give you the things that you want in order to make it easy for you to find your way again. But that's what real people do. People that aren't real will just fix it. It's good when you're perhaps living in a skin-deep sort of superficial, distorted business type fucking acquisition space, just making faces with paces that are just taking me quickly to a place where I have enough fucking cash to fill entirely my basement. But what's that gonna do for me? It's not really making any sort of change in my life, making more possibilities. Once I have enough money to do everything that I like, what am I doing beyond that? I'm just making something that's just funding the economy, making more people want to be. But the big gap is the people that live in the middle who do all the work, and the people that live at the bottom who get to enjoy all the scraps. But the people that live on top are making it harder for people to find their way up. And there's only so many places on fucking the ark, so get ready for it, motherfuckers, because the meek might be on task this time round. Who knows? Let's hope not. Let's wish them well on their trip home, lest they know whether or not they've left already. Sitting in front of their screens, they might not have taken in the understanding of which at the back of their brain has already implemented steps for them to begin.